When I first saw Darwyn Cooke's work in New Frontier, I thought, whoa, if I were him, I'd be scared to hear a knock on the door and it being Bruce Timm to punch me in the face. Check this out. Okay, the nose is slightly different, but the face shape, the mouth, the almond-shaped eyes with the empty circle iris. But then again, you could say that about Bruce Timm with Jack Kirby. It's like one of those infinity pictures. Artists inspiring artists. And that leads back to the first cave painting, so let's drop that for now. In a way, Darwyn Cooke has a free pass to draw like Bruce Timm because they did work together on the animated series. And for that Batman show, Bruce Timm created a style, which in itself was a callback to old Americana, that was so popular that it kind of became its own thing, separated from the artist Bruce Timm himself even. Just check out all these artists who can do it exactly the same. So for this video, I want to put Bruce and Darwyn next to each other and see where they differ. Nice little collection of Bruce on the left and Darwyn on the right. Always fun to see two artists take on the same character, like Black Canary here. But look at how the underlying lines are exaggerated with Bruce. Huge hips to the side, while Darwyn keeps it pretty straight. So side by side that would be something like this. Hello, sailor! The shape of the face is different as well. Timm with a more manga style almost. That protruding cheek and sharp chin. Darwyn with a square jaw. I always have to think of that woman on Melrose Place. And these mouths are almost identical. They also both do the fleshy lips. But this here is very Bruce. The way the shoulder goes into the upper arm and then the straight line down on the other side, always present in his super dudes as well. Darwyn does it a little, but I don't feel he's copying that. Okay, let's check some pages. Here's the Bruce Timm arm again. So much energy in this and very cartoony. Characters almost feel like they're made of rubber. This is just pure comedy and exaggeration, but also masterful dropping of shadows. Then check out this Darwyn Cooke sequence. It just screams retro Americana, but it is realistic somehow. Also great shadows. Then this here is obviously some Mike Mignola worship. Turns out he's also a Kirby fan. Kirby Crackle homage. But then this here feels Sin City or Tim Sale even, which made me realize that Darwyn is probably closer to Tim Sale than to Bruce Timm, especially here. But then, of course, Tim Sale leads back to Frank Miller and the circle is complete. Alright, back to the drawing board. I thought it would be fun to redraw a Bruce Timm drawing in the style of Darwyn Cooke and vice versa. So let's start with this Darwyn Wonder Woman Superman and turn it into a Bruce Timm drawing. So exaggerate the hips to start with, of course. Let me get some more samples. About 20 years ago, I read this interview in a magazine with Darwyn Cooke, and it started my research into Playboy cartoons, which led me to Erich Sokol. And man, that is a genius artist. So thank you, Darwyn, for the introduction. I just kept this page in my scrap folder. Although Darwyn mentions Alex Toth and Jack Kirby, there's not a word about Bruce Timm. Maybe in the other pages I threw out. This here is a great point. The original has the Darwyn version of the hand in the hair, and then I have two Bruce versions, so I can get exactly the Bruce version on mine. It's just a matter of that sharp elbow and the graceful, slightly abstract curve in the arm. This Superman I am blatantly copying though, not tracing of course, because I want to have life in it. And in my version his chin is down a bit more, so that makes his throat shorter. And since he's looking at Wonder Woman's Wonder Bra, his eyes will have a different expression. Okay, check the line width on this one. It's much thicker than on his animated stuff, but I like thick lines, so going with this. And here the most important line, so gotta get it right. Her head is much bigger than his, so just reducing the whole upper body. And boom! Yeah, I like it. Definitely has that Bruce Timm feeling. And from this you see how much more realistic Darwyn actually draws. Let's do the reverse now. I picked this Bruce Timm Harlequin and yeah, gonna give it the Darwyn makeover. Got quite a lot of samples from flying heroes here, so using those. But I'm already feeling how much harder this is going to be in the sketch phase. He doesn't do a lot of foreshortening in his action shots, so keeping it pretty flat. Still curvy anatomy though. Also the sharp knees he does as well in his pinups. That is kind of abstract. Costume, tighter pencils. And I will give her the closed eyes and big smile. Yeah, a mask like this is always difficult to draw, because getting the eyes in just the right spot and the right shape is difficult enough as it is. But then when you draw ovals around it, you see every millimeter the placement is off. So tricky stuff. Alright, let's start the inking. Thinner lines on this though. And here's the two colored versions. Clean Darwyn, rough Darwyn, clean, rough, clean, rough. Yeah, this was much harder to get style accurate. Sorry, Darwyn. The Bruce Timm style just has so much more to hold on to. And there's practically even a manual how to draw like this with all those animated series turnarounds. If you show this to a comic book fan, I'm sure they'll think of Bruce Timm, but not sure they'd think of Darwyn Cooke on this one. So I'm screaming to my past self, Darwyn definitely has his own style. What do you guys think on the whole Bruce Darwyn issue? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed this breakdown, and catch you in the next one.